Hello everyone. Today we start with the topic that is HDTV standards and system from unit number 3. These are the points we have to discuss related to this HDTV standards and system. First, introduction, then HDTV standards and systems, technology advancement, history, why HDTV, current TV standards, HDTV specification, timeline, application, current status, and lastly hardware requirement. Okay, so let us discuss first point, that is introduction. So what is HD? HD means a screen that provides more vibrant colors. Today's world is totally moving towards high definition because of the improved quality in audio and video broadcasting, recording and playback. It has given a remarkable improvement in image quality and color fidelity. HDTV gives 4 times higher resolution than analog TV. In 1990s, joint project between Motion Pictures Expert Group, that is MPEG, and the Video Coding Expert Group of the International Telecom Union, that is ITU, result in H.264 standard, also known as MPEG-4 Part 10/AVC. This compression technique not only made HDTV broadcasting possible but also economical viable. Hence, high resolution and color fidelity has made HDTV and replaced analog TV. So let us discuss HDTV standards and the systems. HDTV standards define both colors and spatial resolution of the image. Color resolution is the array or palette of colors that is possible and valid for a video signal. Early HD standard in 1980s, when HDTV was defined, used analog technique, but today HDTV is primarily a digital technology using an array of standards for both video and audio. HDTV standards are described as follows. First one, ITUR, International Telecommunication Union Recommendation, BT.709. This standard defines the luminance and chrominance digitize of HDTV. It defines the quantization level for luminance and chrominance for binary data 8, 10 and 12 bit. This quantization level defines the brightness, color saturation and color hue. They also define algebraic formula matrix for converting RGB into luminance and color difference signal. The actual number of samples per line varies depending on the spatial resolution of the HDTV format. Second standard, that is SMPTE 274M-2008. This HD standard is defined for 1920 by 1080 resolution and frame rate for this resolution. Frame rates can be either interlaced and progressive. Third standard, that is SMPTE 296M-2001. This HD standard is defined for 1280 by 720 resolution and its frame rates. All frame rates are progressive only. Fourth one, that is SMPTE 240M-1999 and 260M-1999. These two HD standards describe HD resolution for 1125 total line per frame, out of which 1035 lines are active. The 240M standard defines the analog presentation of the signal and 260M defines the digital representation. In both cases, an interlaced frame is used with a vertical synchro frequency of either 60 Hz. Fifth one, that is SMTE 292-2008. This standard defines how the signal defined by 274M, 296M and 260M are transmitted in a bit serial way at data rate of 1.5 GB per second over coaxial cable. It does not define resolution of video image defined in other standard, but rather how they are to be communicated. SMTE 292 is just a transport stream and physical layer interface definition for coaxial cable. 292 only supports 1080i interlaced frame at 5059.94 and 60 Hz on a single 292 interface. In order to support 1080 pixel frame rate of 50 Hz and above, either two 292 interface must be used in parallel as defined by SMTE 372M, or one SMPTE 424 interface can be used. Both, that is 292 and 424, define important parameter of the serial digital data such as bitrate rate, rise and fall time, jitter, signal amplitude and connector impedance. Lastly, SMPTE 424M 2006. This standard defines the bit serial structure for coaxial interface at a nominal bit rate of 3 GB per second for component, digital video and other packetized data. The actual data rate used in either 2.97 GB per second. The significance of this standard is that it defines how 1080 pixels at frame rate from 50 to 60 Hz are to be transmitted over a single coaxial cable. This standard is now increasingly used instead of the 272 standard, as it requires only one single path. Then, what are the technology and advancement regarding this HDTV? So VCR, that stands for video cassette recorder. Then laser disc, that is LD. Then digital versatile disc, that is DVD. Compact disc, we can say that CD. Then digital audio tapes, that is DAT. And now high definition television, that is HDTV. These are the technology advancement. We already know this all advancement. So what is history regarding this HDTV? First began in 60s at NHK, the Japan Broadcasting Corporation. Many different formats were developed in US. In February 1993, FCC suggested to form an alliance that would eventually create the best possible system. In May 1993, Grand Alliance formed. So why HDTV? So these are the some advantage or some important features regarding this HDTV. Higher resolution picture, wider picture, then digital sound, then additional data, easy to interface with computer. These are the important features regarding this HDTV. So first one, high resolution picture. Okay, so means we can, if we observe this HDTV, okay, so this picture quality is more as compared to the analog TV. Okay, wider picture, Okay, so we can observe this object on HDTV clear as compared to the analog system. Then digital surround system. Okay, this is a feature available in HDTV. We can add the additional data to that particular system, and it is easy to interface with the computer. Okay, so now everything is converted into analog to digital. Okay, so we can easily interface with the computer. So transmission is easily possible using this system. Then let us discuss what are the current TV standards. Okay, so there are, we already discussed is NTSC, PAL and SIM. Okay, so just comparison here. Region, it is used in NTSC used in US, PAL is used in Asia, Europe, South America, and CCAM which is used in the France. And channel bandwidth for the NTSC 6 MHz, for PAL 8 MHz, and for CCAM 8 MHz. And the aspect ratio for NTSC 4:3. It is for PAL, it is also 4:3, and CCAM it is also 4:3. So this aspect ratio is similar for the all system. Okay, so now let us the comparison between the HDTV USA and NTSC. The aspect ratio of this HDTV is greater as compared to the NTSC. So here it is 16:9, and here this is 4:3. Then largest frame rate, it is more in case of the HDTV, that is 60 frame per second, and it is 30 frame per second for NTSC. Vertical refresh rate, it is 60 Hz for both system, HDTV and the NTSC. And then highest resolution, it is a 1080 lines for the HDTV, and it is 525 lines for the NTSC. Okay, so some additional features regarding this HDTV. System outline in the ATSC standard is based on the MPEG-2 main profile. Video format span the range of main level to high level. Audio compression is based on Dolby AC3 system with the sampling rate of 48 kHz and perceptually coded. 5.1 channel of surround sound audio. Transport subsystem based on MPEG-2 transport stream. Packet consists of 188 bytes. And lastly, RF subsystem is 8 VSP. Okay, so these are the components of the HDTV systems. Okay, so now first one is the analog carrier plus a digital signal. Okay, so now it consists of both audio as well as the video signal. Okay, so now here we require the demodulator. Okay, means here we require only the original signal, not the carrier signal. Okay, so we require only the digital signal, so that's why we use here demodulate. So it demodulate this analog carrier. What is the use of analog carrier here? It just carry the digital signal on the analog carrier signal and transmit it at that end. Okay, so first of all we have to demodulate it, so we will get only the original signal, that is digital signal. Then demultiplexer. Okay, here why we require demultiplexer? We have to process this signal separately for the video signal and the audio signal. Okay, so we just demultiplex, which is having the two ends, that is video signal and the audio signal. Just it separate out the video signal and the audio signal. Okay, so now for the video signal we require the image decoder. Okay, so we have to decode this signal because we have to process this signal. Okay, so we have to convert that particular signal into the digital one. Okay, so we have to decode this. Okay, so this is done with the help of image decoder. Okay, so this is a decoded video signal which is given to the processor. Okay, so it processes this signal. Okay, means that particular signal is converted into the image format or display format. Okay, so this is done with the help of processor. Okay, Then in case of the audio signal, here also we have to decode it. Okay, we will get this decoded audio signal. Okay, so there are two signals are there, just we have to combine and then we will get the proper output. Okay, display format here, and this is the decoded audio signal. Okay, so this is the components of the HDTV systems. Okay, so timeline of the HDTV. November 1998, HDTV's transmission began at 27 stations in the top 10 market. In May 1999, network affiliate in the top 10 market must show at least 50% digital programming. In November 99, digital broadcast in the next 20 largest markets. In May 2002, remaining commercial station must be converted. Then 2003, public station must be converted into the digital broadcast. In 2004, station must stimulate at least 75% of their analog programming on the HDTV. In 2005, station stimulated 100% of their analog programming, and in 2006, station reliquidized their current analog spectrum. NTSC TV set will no longer be able to pick up broadcast signal. Means here all this analog system is converted into the digital one. Okay. So what are the application of this HDTV? So high definition TV for the consumer. It is used for the medical purpose. Okay, so we can clearly observe the medical related images. So video on demand. Okay, then internet surfing, and last one is the distance learning. Okay, so these all are important application of the HDTV. So what is the current status? 18 digital TV format are approved by FCC. More than 27 digital channels being broadcasted by ABC, CBS, Fox and NBC. DirecTV has one HDTV channel. Unity Motion is broadcast 3 HDTV channels. So what are the hardware required? So digital decoder converts a digital signal into the analog and allow current TV set to work, and digital ready TV set widescreen format, progressive scanning is used. HDTV set widescreen format can receive 18 digital input format. Just we observe here what is the comparison between the current TV and the HDTV. Okay, we can observe here current TV format, and here this is the HDTV format. Okay, so picture is more clear in case of the HDTV as compared to the current TV. Take another example. Okay, so this is the current TV, this is the moving picture, this is the HDTV. So it is more clear as compared to the previous one. Okay, so what is the analog bandwidth of the HDTV signal? HDTV image size of 1050 by 60 at 30 frame per second. The bandwidth required to carry that image quality using the analog transmission system is 18 MHz. However, it will require more bandwidth to transmit it in digital format. With the MPEG-2 compression, the bit rate is compressed from more than 1 GB per second to transmit to about 20 Mbps, which transmit digitally only requires bandwidth 6 MHz. Aspect ratio of movies versus HDTV. Aspect ratio of HDTV is 16:9. We already discussed. But for the movies, which is different format. Movies are always short, so they can display in several aspect ratio at different types of movies theater, from the shoebox size foreign movies houses to ultra big screen Star Wars jobs. Okay, this is said by the Franco. So what is the copyright protection for the IGTV? We do not find any group which mention about the copyright protection for the IGTV. Currently, broadcast stations sometimes put their logo on the right bottom corner for their analog broadcast program. We think that this method can still be used as one of the protecting copyright for the IGTV. Okay. So let us discuss the IGTV transmitter. Okay. So this is the block diagram of the IGTV. Figure shows the block diagram of IGTV. The digitized audio and video signal are compressed, processed, multiplexed, modulated and transmitted. As shown in the figure, the analog video signal is digitized at sampling frequency of 14.3 MHz for luminous and chroma at 7.15 MHz. As the data rate is high, the sample signal is compressed for reducing the data rate. The reliability is increased using Reed-Solomon error detection code. The data rate are randomized using Scrambler. The data are then trellis coded, packetized to form video data stream. Similarly, the audio data are compressed, packetized. The audio and video data streams are multiplexed. 8 VSB, that is digitization sidebands, modulated, upconverted and given to the single sideband filter to reduce the bandwidth. The next one, what is HDTV receiver? This is the block diagram. The audio and video signal are decoded by HDTV receiver to get the original audio and video signal. The 8 VSB modulated signal is decoded using synchronous demodulator. The audio signal is decompressed, digital to analog converter and given to the speaker. The video signal is descrambled, decompressed and digital to analog converted and then display on the display device. Figure shows the block diagram of the HDTV stand receiver. Okay. Now next topic is a digital satellite TV. A satellite is any body that moves around another in a mathematical predictable path called orbit. Okay. So already know what is the simple definition of the satellite. Communication satellite which relays and amplifier radio telecommunication signal via transponder. The first man-made satellite with radio transmission was invented in 1957. Currently, there are approximately 1071 artificial satellites orbiting in the around the Earth. Okay, so this is a simple block diagram of the satellite communication for the HDTV system. Okay, so we can observe here it consists of television channel, then communication satellite along with the transponder, means it consists of both transmitter and receiver. Okay, so this is the multi-system operator which is called as MSO. Same thing is also used in the mobile communication system. Okay, and this particular the substation. Okay, so how it includes a small cable operator and individual subscriber. Okay, so how this communication takes place using this system. Okay, so this is the television channel. Okay, so this is the one of the or we can say that this is the transmitter at the ground level. Okay, so from this television channel system, okay, we transmit the signal through this uplink, which is having particular frequency less than this downlink frequency. Okay, so this signal is transmitted to the communication satellite. Okay, so it consists of transponder. So just it receive this signal, and that particular signal is sent it to the multi-system operator, that is called as MSO, through this downlink frequency, and then that particular signal from this multi-system operator, which is distributed to the small cable operator and the individual subscriber. Okay, so this is the simple communication takes place through this communication satellite system. Okay, so what are the elements of the digital TV satellite system? Programming source, DBS provider, broadcast center, then geostationary satellite, dish antenna, and TV receiver. Okay, so these are the important elements of the digital TV satellite system. Okay, so let us discuss one by one. Okay, so this is the first one, is the programming source. Okay, so channel studio, it is having the channel studio, then processing subject, you have to process that particular signal, so that's why we require the processing subjects. Then encryption and compression. So why we require the encryption? Okay, so nobody can access that particular data during the communication purpose, so that's why we have to do the encryption process before the transmission. Then compression, as for the transmission purpose, okay, we have to utilize the small amount of bandwidth, so that's why we have to compress this signal. So from the with the help of this minimum frequency band, we can compress this signal and send it at the another side. Okay, then next one is the local country geosat is required. Okay, for the transmission purpose. Okay, so this transmission is not takes place on the ground level. Okay, so we require this geosat. Okay, then geosat transponder, okay, along with the uplink and downlink. This transponder required for the receiving signal and the transmit signal. Okay, then DSB broadcast center. Okay, we have to broadcast this signal at the various station. Okay, so we require this DSB broadcast center. Okay, then TV receiver, okay, receiving channel data, validation, decoding original one. Okay, so now this all data is now digital. Okay, but we require the original. Suppose if they send the audio signal, okay, so we require the audio signal or the video signal, so that's why this decoding is important process for the receiver side. Then encoding, again here we converted into the analog signal, then compressed by DSB provider, then compression MPEG-2 and the MPEG-4, and then again it send it to the Indian geosat. Okay, for the further transmission or the further communication. Okay, so now everybody know the IEEE spectrum. Okay, so it consists of various cloud, that is VLF, LF, MF, HF, UHF, SHF, EHF. Okay, so now each having particular application. Okay, so we can observe here VLF, it is very low frequency band. It is having particular frequency band from 3 kHz to 30 kHz. Okay, so which is used for the navigation purpose. Then LF for the, again for the maritime radios and the navigation. This medium frequency required for the AM radio and the navigation purpose. Then HF, high frequency required for the shortwave radio. VHF for the television and the FM broadcasting, that is very high frequency. UHF for the GPS, Wi-Fi and the 4G. that is ultra high frequency, and then super high frequency, which is used for the satellite communication. Okay, so now, and last one is for the astronomy purpose, extremely high frequency. Okay, so for the geostationary satellite communication system, okay, so it utilizes that particular frequency in between 3 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz. That this SHF frequency band is used for the communication purpose. Okay, so there are two bands which is called as C band. Its frequency range from 4 to 6 gigahertz, and for the Ku it is range from 12 to 18 gigahertz band. Okay, so this is just the IEEE spectrum. Okay, so this is the important SHF for the communication purpose. It just mentioned the which frequency band is used for the communication purpose. Okay, so this is a simple satellite TV system. Okay, so this is SAT1 phone, int in, video out, RF out. Okay, so this is a simple satellite TV system. Okay, so we can observe here SAT-in. Okay, so it is having this RG6 coaxial cable. Okay, so this is a simple construction. It consists of LNB, support arm, parabolic reflector, elevation adjustment, and this phone to we can connect the phone here. This ANT in to standard TV antenna, we can connect here antenna for the signal purpose, for the receiving signal, and here this is the video out used for the VCR or TV as needed. Okay, so it depends on the demand. Then this RF out. Okay, so this is the TV system. Okay, so all this for this all the communication purpose, this RG59 coaxial cable is used. Okay, so this TV receiver, a box shaped device that converts a digital television signal to analog for viewing on a conventional set, or that enable cable or satellite television to be viewed. Okay, so this is the simple, this is the satellite, this is signal received by this antenna, then that particular antenna receive this signal, then which is connected to the television system. Okay, so this is another simple block diagram. It consists of power supply, front end, front panel, storage, audio interface, video interface, flash, RAM, and this is the decoder. Okay, so simple block diagram regarding this TV receiver. Okay, so power supply which is required to operate this system. Okay, that particular if you want to store this data, okay, we have to store this data, which is RAM is available, video interface and audio interface. Okay, so now this all these signals, whatever we signal receive, this is digital one. Okay, so we have to interface this signal and then which is given to the decoder. Okay, so this is done with the help of video interface and the audio interface. Okay, so what are the features of the satellite TV? So high definition, simple user interface, internal drive is used, remote management and the playback, digital video recorder is possible, detailed program information is available, keyword search is used, and favorite list we can implement in this satellite TV. Thank you.